How we doing, everybody? Good to have you back. I see some faces here that we saw the other day. We had Easton Corbin here earlier this week, and it's good to have these faces back. Anybody here for the first time? I know I met a couple first-timers. We always like having first-timers. We dig that. Thank you so much for coming to the. I switched it on and off. I cursed and I decided to edit it. It's so good to have you guys here. Just wanted to do a couple of real quick things. People who have been here know this, but if you are here for the first time, turn your flash off on your phone. We encourage photos, we encourage videos, we encourage all that. We want you to do as much as you can. We love it when you post us. If you could do at 987thebull when you post it so we can track it and we can use it later, we'd love that. But take as many photos and videos as you want. Just try to turn the flash off. The lighting in here is plenty sufficient. Trust us on that. In the meantime, he's going to meet everybody afterwards, and we're going to, have a little Q&A here in a little bit. But first, I want to introduce you to BMLGR and Harp at the 60 recording artist, Shane Profitt. Yeah.
How are we doing, Portland? We good? Hope everybody is ready to have a good time. I am. Oh, yeah. Well, as they just introduced me, my name is Shane Profitt. I just released an EP here about 2 weeks ago. I hope y'all have heard it. If you haven't, please go check it out. It's called Murray County Line. I have 3 of my absolute favorite songs that I've ever got the chance to write. And y'all go check it out. I'm going to play those for y'all today. And this first one I'm going to do for y'all is called Guys Like Me. I hope y'all like it. Guys like me go to work for the city 40-something hours a week. Guys like me wake up before you and don't bitch about getting no sleep. Guys like me gotta work for a living, and that's the way it'll be. 'Cause it ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me. Guys like me drink a case of cold beer. Guys like me drive pickup trucks. Guys like me give thanks to the good Lord. Guys like me don't live on luck. People back home always ask me if that's how I'll always be. It ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me. Guys like me were the underdogs and less likely to succeed. Guys like me come from nothing at all and don't take anything for free. Guys like me give the shirt off our back and the boots right off of our feet. 'Cause it ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me. Guys like me drink a case of cold beer. Guys like me drive pickup trucks. Guys like me give thanks to the good Lord. Guys like me don't live on luck. People back home always ask me if that's how I'll always be. It ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me. You can say what you want, say what you think, but man, if you ask me, there's a lot of good people out in this old world. We're the last of a dying breed. Guys like me drink a case of cold beer. Guys like me drive pickup trucks. Guys like me give thanks to the good Lord. Guys like me don't live on luck. People back home always ask me if that's how I'll always be. It ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me. It ain't nothing, oh hell it ain't nothing for a guy like me.
Make some noise for Shane Profitt, you guys. Shane, I'm so glad that you started with that song, because that song is clearly about you, right? I mean, that is your story.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And a guy like you hasn't been in the spotlight really that long. I mean, like this it's been a whirlwind for you.
It has, for lack of better terms, man. 7 months ago, I was working full time for the city of Columbia back home in Tennessee, and that's what guys like me is about. Because I was doing that 7 months ago. I know what that blue collar life living is like, because that is what I was doing.
Right.
And that's exactly what that song's about.
So, I mean, like before you were doing all that, I mean, you've been working for the city, just doing that blue collar life. This is something that's pretty recent for you. How did the thing start? How did this all go?
So it all started with a first time date. And I had this girl.
All great stories start that way.
Yeah, no kidding. So I had this girl, we were talking back and forth, and we had plans to go out to dinner. Well, this particular weekend, I had a show at a little bar in Columbia, and I had to have guitar strings for my guitar. So nowhere in my hometown sells guitar strings, right? So I have to drive about 30 minutes out of my way to get them. Well, I invited this girl, and we went to Guitar Center, got the strings, and I got back in the truck, and I said, hey, honey, I ain't going to starve you. What do you want to eat while we're up here? And she said, well, I really like sushi. Now, y'all don't know me. I love catching fish, but I'm just not a fan of eating them fresh out of the water like that.
Sure.
You slap some batter on them and throw them in some sizzling grease, and that's more up my alley.
You like a little time between when they come out of the water before they go in your face.
Exactly. So we pull into the sushi restaurant. I'm a gentleman. I take her there, and we go to walk in, and Chris Jansen holds the door for us when we walk in.
That's awesome.
And I'd been to 7 concerts my whole life, and Chris Jansen was 5 of them. And we go in, and at first I didn't want to interrupt his dinner with his family, because he was with his beautiful family. And I had it in my mind that we would each sit down, and they ended up seating us directly across a restaurant from him. So I'm kind of looking at him from afar, kind of hardcore creeping. And I had it in my mind that whenever he got up to pay, that I would too, and we would have to meet at the cash register or the door. And he stood up, and I grabbed the girl I was with. She was about halfway done with her sushi roll. And I said, hey, come on. So we get about halfway across the restaurant, and Chris sits right back down. And I'm standing here all awkward, and I'm like, well, what do I do now? And so I'm just like, well, I'm halfway committed. I'm going to go for it now. So I go up to his table, introduce myself, tell him what a fan I am, and that I'm a songwriter, and it would mean the world to me if he would listen to some of my music. And he just looked at me for a split second, and before he could get it out of his mouth, his wife, Kelly, that was sitting right beside him, said, hey, I'm his manager. I'm also a music publisher. Is that a receipt you have in your hand you could write your email down on? I could send you an email, and we could talk back and forth. You could send me some songs. I said, yes, ma'am, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Chris Jansen looked at me, and he said, did you just say yes, ma'am? I said, yes, sir, I did. He said, I like that a lot. Pull up a chair and talk to me.
That's how it started.
So,
and this was this year.
Oh, yeah, that was 7 months ago. That was 7 months ago. 2 weeks after that night, Chris Jansen signed me to my publishing deal. I got to quit my city job, and I got to open for Chris on the road on the Halfway to Crazy tour. Got to quit my job, write songs for a living, and then about 3 months ago, this record deal happened with Harpeth 60 Records and BMLG.
The lesson to learn there is, if Lady Gaga's at a restaurant, don't bug her. If a country person is at the restaurant, go bug them. This stuff like this happens after that like that. Now, if somebody comes up and does that to you at a sushi restaurant, because I assume you've developed the taste for it, right?
I'll be honest. I found one sushi roll that I can eat, and it's not raw. It's I think it's called a crunchy shrimp roll.
That's just shrimp, man. Don't be bragging about your sushi chops.
If they put fried chicken in a sushi roll, I'd probably eat it too. So.
Chris Jansen, speaking of him, did you learn from him on tour? I mean, like, he's quite a performer.
Chris Jansen is, as far as I'm concerned, the best entertainer, or one of. I might be a little bit biased, but I think he's the best entertainer in the game.
So would you pick anything up from him, or are you jumping off of stages and like he does? Or?
You know, he don't have as many pounds on him as I do, so I can't quite jump around like that. But I'll have fun trying.
I love it, man. I think that's great. Well, one thing I wanted to do with you real quick before we get back to some music is he's got a new single out. We played it earlier today. I don't know if y'all heard it, but it's great. I wanted to ask you a couple things. Now, How It Ought to Be is the name of the single, and we'll hear that here today, right?
Sure.
Okay, all right. How It Ought to Be, I originally wrote these questions here about somebody my age, and then I realized Homeboy's 22 years old. He's got a whole different How It Ought to Be than the rest of us. But this is stuff that was popular when you were growing up, and the way it versus now, it's totally different. But it's kind of all stuff it'd be on the fence about. So like watching a movie in the theaters versus watching it at home. What do you prefer? Because you remember watching in theaters, you had it growing up, right?
Absolutely. Actually, the theater we had back home, it just got tore down a couple months ago. I guess everybody kind of switched to Netflix. However, I've always been one of the people that I feel like I have to to experience it. I have to be at the movies. So
Okay.
I want to say movies.
He's going to stick with the movies. All right. Traditional Taco Bell versus the Taco Bell of today, because it's wild there now.
I'm going to say the Taco Bell today.
That's right.
Yeah, Taco Bell today.
That Doritos Locos Tacos. It's
I'm ready
crazy,
for-
but it's pretty good.
Oh my, dude! You know it's good when you got to lick that little powder off your fingers. You know it's like, golly, it don't get no better.
Video games of your childhood versus like playing on your phone in the apps today.
You know, to be totally honest with you, man, I never had a game box or anything.
Ever?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Honestly,
man.
I have not.
Where's my walker?
I've never had. I know that there's like different, I guess consoles
Sure.
or whatever you want to call it. I've always
It's
been
all apps for you all the way along.
well, I didn't even have a phone. I don't think until I was like 12, and I was always one of those people. I would rather be squirrel hunting or fishing or something with my dad.
All right.
So I never.
That's the kind of guy you are, as you said.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's just it ain't nothing for a guy like me. So,
Calling versus FaceTiming. Would you prefer to be like this or like this?
I'm gonna say call because I don't know. It's just I feel like I'm one of those people. I have to be having a hat on,
Right.
and if somebody FaceTimes me and I'm like, getting out of the shower or in the bed or whatever, it's just so much easier to just pick up the phone and talk normal.
Last one. 2000s country of the past couple years. That's a tough one.
2000s, and actually, if you want to take it a step further, probably late 80s, early 90s.
What? I mean, we all agree, but you weren't around for that.
I wasn't, but luckily, my mother is like a walking jukebox.
Love that.
So, I mean, I grew up listening to Merle, Keith Whitley, Conway, Johnny Cash. And at one point, actually, whenever I was growing up, the Johnny Cash movie came out, and I watched it for the first time. I don't know, I was probably like 8, and I cried because my parents wouldn't change my name to Johnny Cash.
If you want, we can do the rest of the show calling you that. If you
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear that influence here today. I'm not going to do it. Shane Profitt, everybody. I want that name to become famous.
So, this next one I'm going to do for y'all, it is on the Murray County Line EP, and this is actually a very true story. This song is called Better Off Fishing. I was talking to another girl. It seems like, just through my songs, y'all might think I have girl trouble. I swear I'm not crazy. It's just, I don't know. I just find myself in bad spots, it seems like. But I was fishing, and I had this idea. This girl kept calling me, and we were actually supposed to spend the day together, but I went fishing instead, and she was absolutely livid. And that's exactly what this song's about. So here's Better Off Fishing. She had that southern drawl, real mean smile. I fell farther than a country mile. That heartbreak woman put a hurt on me. Never got to give her that diamond ring. 'Cause I skipped that rock and watched it sink. I'd rather be out in the middle of a big lake up talking killing time, bobbing my head like a bobber on a line. So I'd rather be out in the middle of a big lake, sipping on six on a flat right lake, catching them catfish all day, far away from the missing and the fishing. Honestly, baby, I'm better off fishing. Hey, they got crickets and crawlers out here. Hey, they grow 'em big in the water around here. Hey, ain't got no heartache down here. Just me, my dog, and an ice cold beer. Anybody ask, I've disappeared. Out in the middle of a big lake, sipping on six on a flint rock bank, catching them catfish all day, far away from the missing and the fishing. Honestly, baby, I'm better off fishing, far away from the missing and the bitching. Honestly, baby, I'm better off fishing. Thank y'all very much. All right. So, as the story I just told, you know, I am new to this, but I am very, very thankful that all this is going on. And thank y'all for being here. This is absolutely amazing to me. Whenever we pulled up, there was a line of people, and I can't tell y'all how much that means to me, because for the last, 3-4 years since I even started this, I've played in front of rooms of people that, just quite honestly don't care. And that's fine. I had fun, but I would rather have 50 of y'all than 500 of people that don't care. So thank y'all for being here. So like I said, all this is new to me. All this happened within 7 months. And, where I come from, in a small town in Tennessee, you get up and you go to work every day. You punch that clock at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7, whatever. And you get off in the evenings and you go home and you cook supper, and that's your life. And I've been very, very blessed, running into a lot of people that believed in me and got me to where I am. So I know some of them's watching on here, and thank y'all very much. And without even y'all, I wouldn't be able to be here. So thank you. People kept telling me how lucky I was running into Chris Jansen that night. I told y'all that story, and I thought about it, and I thought, some of it is luck, but I think even more of it's God. And I wrote one of the most meaningful songs I've ever been a part of writing, and it's on the full album that'll be out here very soon. This one isn't on the EP, unfortunately. But I wanted to give y'all a taste of what's to come on the full album. And there's very, very few audiences that have heard this song, so if it's all right with y'all, I'd like to play it for y'all. Is that all right? So here's Good Luck in God. Like I said, people kept telling me how lucky I was running into Chris Jansen at that sushi restaurant. And some of it is luck, but I think more of it's God. So here's Good Luck in God. High school kid puts a truck in a ditch and walks away without a scratch. Man says a little prayer, throws his money out there, and leaves Vegas with $1,000 cash. After 2 years of trying, she broke down crying, 'cause she's finally gonna be a mom. Some call it good luck, but I call it God. 'Cause one is a gamble, one is for certain. One comes and goes while the other keeps working. One you could lean on, hard times or not. One will get you to heaven, while the other one ain't got a shot. And that's the difference in good luck and God. So some of y'all may be asking yourself, Shane, what happened to that girl from that sushi restaurant? And I am too. So I wanted to throw it in this song right here. The girl I fell for, man, she walked out the door and she was gone in 2 seconds flat. Down and out on faith, man, I prayed and I prayed, but I knew the night she came back that one is a gamble, one is for certain. One comes and goes while the other keeps working. One you could lean on, hard times or not. One will get you to heaven while the other one ain't got a shot. And that's the difference in good luck and God. One is a gamble, one is for certain. One comes and goes while the other keeps working. One you could lean on, hard times or not. One will get you to heaven while the other one ain't got a shot. And that's the difference in good luck and God. That's the difference in good luck and God. Y'all very much. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I'll probably say it 1,000 more before we even get done. Thank y'all for being here. This is my first time ever in Portland, so I am. If this was Tennessee, whenever I got here, I would have been pouring sweat before I even walked in the door. So. You have no idea how awesome it is. I asked the Uber driver on the way here if he would roll down the windows. I was like a dog with my ears flopping in the wind. It was amazing. So this next one I'm gonna do for y'all, it is my first ever single, and it is very, very special to me. So the idea behind this song was, we were having to write over Zoom because of, COVID, and I was, quite honestly, I was kind of sour about that. But at the same time, I wanted to have a good day, and I wanted to write a song. So I had to go and fill my truck up with gas. I went and got me a Hardee's biscuit. I don't know if y'all have Hardee's, but we do back in what? Carl's Jr. What's the difference in that and Hardee's? No kidding. So they have a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit that's to die for, too. Okay, all right. Carl's Jr. We might have to stop on the way back. But I went and got me a Carl's Jr. biscuit, apparently. And I went and filled my truck up with gas, and it was $101. Now, keep in mind, I had just quit my city job to pursue music full time. And $101 to fill your truck up, that kind of scared me, to say the least. And with all the chaos going on in today's world, I wanted a song on how it ought to be, not how it shouldn't be. And so this song is very, very special to me. And, in the chorus it says, the world ought to try a piece of mama's chicken and feel the love around her tabletop in the kitchen. I grew up... we sit down at the dinner table and we pray and we were together as a family. And I can't help but think that if everybody in today's world had just a little bit of that from time to time, we'd be living in a whole lot better place. So here's how it ought to be. And if it's okay with y'all, whenever I point at y'all, I want y'all to say, that's how it ought to be, okay? Y'all good with that? Y'all good with that? backyard ought to be a safe place for kids to play. Teachers ought to get doctors and lawyers pay. I don't know about you, but if you ask me, that's how it ought to be. Cold beer ought to be too cold to hold. Something good about somebody's all that ought to be told. World ought to try, pay some mama's chicken, feel the love around her tabletop in the kitchen, and ought to be off your ass when that anthem gets sung. All our friends ought to live to be too old to die young. Ain't how it is, but I believe that's how. I think 87 octane ought to be 99 cents. A buggy full of groceries ought to be cheaper than rent. Don't know why it ain't, but if you ask me, that's how it ought to be. Cold beer ought to be too cold to hold. Something good about somebody's all that ought to be told. World ought to try, pay some mama's chicken, feel the love around her tabletop in the kitchen, and ought to be off your ass when that anthem gets sung. All our friends ought to live to be too old to die young. Ain't how it is, but I believe that's how it ought to be. Yeah. All right, so look, we're going to have fun on this last chorus, okay? Everybody, I want you to stomp your feet or clap your hands. Come on, right here. Everybody. We're going to sing this last chorus together. Cold beer ought to be too cold to hold. Something good about somebody's all that ought to be told. World ought to try, pay some mama's chicken, feel the love around her tabletop in the kitchen, and ought to be off your ass when that anthem gets sung. All our friends ought to live to be too old to die young. Ain't how it is, but I believe that's how it ought to be. Yeah, that's how it ought to be. Yeah, that's how it ought to be. All righty. So, like I said, I grew up on Merle Haggard, Keith Whitley, all the absolute legends. So, with that being said, is it okay if I play a cover?
Yeah, go for it. You
Is
got
that
another?
all right?
Yeah.
Do y'all want to hear some Hank Williams Jr. here in Portland, Oregon? All right. Country Boy Can't Survive right here. Thank y'all very much for coming out. I've had an absolute blast. Y'all stick around. I would really, really like to meet y'all. We'll get pictures. We'll shake hands. And we'll talk about hunting or Carl's Jr. or whatever y'all want to talk about. So thank y'all very much. Here is Country Boy Can't Survive. Says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a going dry. The is up and the stock market's down, and you only get mugged if you go downtown. Now I live back in the woods, you see, the woman and the kids and the dogs and me. I got a shotgun, a rifle, and a four-wheel drive, and a country boy can survive. Yeah, country folks can survive. Because you can't stop us out and you can't make us run when them old boys raised on shotgun. We say grace and we say, ma'am, if you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. We're from North California and South Alabama and little towns all around this land. We can skin a buck, we can run a trout line, and a country boy can survive. Yeah, country folks can survive. All right, so look, y'all. Country Boy Can't Survive is a really, really good song, but it's just not my favorite Bocephus song. So with that being said, if it's okay with y'all, I would like to throw my absolute favorite Mr. Bocephus song right here in the middle of it. Would y'all like to hear that? I said, would y'all like to hear that, Portland? Yeah, that hot old summer sun will make you beg for your next breath. So you best be on a creek bank laid in the shade, chewing on a hickory twig. Pass that bottle, I'll have me a swig. I ain't got a lot, but I think I've got it made. Here in Portland today, I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind, catching these fish like they're going out of style, drinking this homemade shine. If the sun don't come up tomorrow, well, Portland, I've had a hell of a time. I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind. Because you can't stop us out and you can't make us run when them old boys raised on shotgun. We say grace and we say, ma'am, if you ain't into that, we don't give a what? Give a what? We're from North California and South Alabama and little towns all around this land. Yeah, we can skin a buck, we can run a trout line, and a country boy can survive. Yeah, country folks can survive. Thank y'all very much.
Well, but I hope they filled your job at the county because I don't think you're going to need it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Shane Profitt. Shane, if you want to take a couple minutes backstage, get yourself whatever you need to do. All right, brother.
I'll be waiting on y'all.
For the rest of us, we're just going to keep our seats here. Shane's going to be out back in a minute. Just make yourself comfortable. If you guys want to grab a drink from the 7-Up cooler back there, help yourself to that. He's going to come out and take some pictures with you. But if you do any posts at 987 The Bowl, we'd appreciate that. And once again, thanks for coming. We'll be doing a lot more. Thanks, y'all.